Agreed. Senator Boyhan, you wish to speak on this section?
Thank you, Cathal. Well, I'm going to speak on this section. And for those not listening in, because it's very important that we, clearly the people outside are here, understand. Those amendments, there were 12 amendments that I put down in relation to section 24, and they all relate to the insertion of the word maternity hospital. I want to say at the very outset, I want to thank the people who engaged externally for me. They were professional people, very much involved in the advocacy, in the legal advocacy of this bill. They'd be very well known to the Minister. They requested that these be put in. We teased them out at great length. I saw the advice that came with them. And so I think it's important that we clearly, while out debating the issue itself, that's a decision was taken. But I think it's very important because as a result of these motions being ruled out of order, I received a lot of correspondence in relation to the role of the Minister versus the role of the Cathaoirleach. So I think it's very clear and very important. One, I'm going to ask you, Cathaoirleach, in a moment to read into the record the reason there's provision for that in our standing orders. So I'll be asking you to do that in a moment. But I want to make it very clear this is not a decision of the Minister. The Minister does not advocate or decide on any amendment before the Seanad. That is a matter for the Cathaoirleach of the House. And so the Cathaoirleach of the House takes advice, no doubt, and he'd be wise to do so, but ultimately he took that decision. So the Cathaoirleach of the Seanad took a decision to rule out many amendments. I think in this case, I know these are 12 amendments. I think there's a huge amount of amendments were taken out. And there's a lot of disquiet and there's a lot of misunderstanding outside these houses as people look in and they say, what's really going on here in terms of the political process? But look, the political process is the political process. I respect the parliamentary democracy, and ultimately these decisions are teased out here. But the great thing about it is they're teased out in an open and a transparent way in this chamber. And there will be other opportunities and other days and other debates to engage in relation to advocacy for children and people in institutional care outside the parameters of this bill. And that is right and that is appropriate. And as I said at the very outset, the basis for a lot of hope and expectation was the voice of Oireachtas members in both houses of the Oireachtas who raised the expectation out publicly that there was going to be substantial amendments. But look, they didn't happen. And that's the very nature of politics. People make many promises, make many commitments, they're constrained by many reasons, and it's for them to explain. But so I just want to use this opportunity to be clear. Minister Roderick O'Gorman didn't rule out any amendments in this House. They were ruled out by the Cathaoirleach. That's one. Two, we will have another opportunity to discuss them. And finally, I want to thank the people that engaged in these amendments. And I know they're disappointed. I know they're upset. But that's the reality of it. And I've always said there are many, many opportunities out in the public fora, outside of these houses, as there will be here in the future, to strongly advocate for children in the past and with our welfare state and how we account for the way we manage our affairs. But look, and I want to finish by saying, I'm conscious of the Minister's point that where he said, we don't want to delay this bill, and I don't want to delay this bill. And there's a hell of a lot good in this bill, and really, really important legislation, and only right and proper that the people who are entitled to the redress, who fit the criteria so far in terms of this legislation, see that deliver for them. So, Cathaoirleach, I finish on that by just saying I'm glad to have the opportunity to put the record straight on that, and I would appreciate for the record we actually have clarity as to why, not for me, I understand it, but for the people listening in as to why these particular amendments were ruled out of order. Thank you, Cathaoirleach, for your time.
Thank you, Senator.